Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, my lords, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the High Commission of India, it is my pleasure and my privilege to extend a warm welcome to you as we come together to celebrate the 76th Republic Day of India. Ladies and gentlemen, your presence this evening is a testament to the shared pride and deep affection we hold for our great democracy. Each year on the 26th of January, we celebrate the adoption of the Constitution of India in 1950, an extraordinary document that laid the foundation of the world's largest democracy. Thank you. Thank you. And of course, we've come a long way since 1950, but it is these very values and commitments that inspire us every day and give us margdarshan, they give us guidance and they give us strength. Ladies and gentlemen, India and the United Kingdom, two strong, vibrant democracies bound by shared values and a rich history, have forged a remarkable partnership through the years. As we reflect on the relationship in 2024 through a short clip, let's celebrate the progress we've made together and the opportunities that lie ahead. Can we play the clip, please? Thank you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I wonder how many of you have had the pleasure of witnessing our Republic Day celebrations live on Kartavya Path. How many? You haven't? High Commissioner has. So I can testify that our Republic Day celebrations and the associated pageantry is a marvel to behold. This year there were 18 marching contingents and 31 tableaux from the different Indian states and services on the theme Swarnim Bharat, Virasat or Vikas. It's translated roughly as Golden India, Legacy and Progress. So we'd like to share with you a small pastiche of what went on at Kartavya Path on the 26th of January. Let's play the clip, please.
The Republic of India extends a very, very warm welcome to the President of the Republic of Indonesia, Mr. Prabowo Subianto, our chief guest for India's 76th Republic Day celebrations, arriving here along with the President of India. Behind our Gallantry Award winners, the Gendarang Suling Kangka Lokananta military band of the Indonesian Military Academy, a 190-member ensemble band, a unique blend of military music and noble values. We have the rumble of the tanks, the mechanized columns, leading the mechanized columns, the T-90 Bhishma, the main battle tank, commanded by Captain Navjot Singh Atwal of 74 Armored Regiment, a symbol of India's cutting-edge military prowess.
The saluting base, BM-21 Agniban. Leading this impressive display is Captain Manoj Chonial of 213 Rocket Regiment.
विशिष्ट दर्शक दीर्घा रोमांचित महसूस करते हुए देश के गणतंत्र दिवस का अनोखा उत्सव कर्तव्य पथ देश प्रेम से सराबोर होता हुआ
साथ निभाए हर इंसान संविधान देश का ये अभिमान
नवीन भारत का उदय स्वदेशी स्वच्छ ऊर्जा परिवर्तन से वैश्विक भविष्य को ऊर्जावान बनाना ये विषय है नवीन और नवीकरणीय ऊर्जा मंत्रालय की इस झांकी का।
लखपति दीदी योजना है
अगली झांकी ग्रामीण विकास मंत्रालय से जिसमें लखपति दीदी पहल को दर्शाया गया है।
स्वर्ग लोक की आभा उतरी तीर्थराज के आंगन में झूम रहे हैं साधु संत जन पुलक भरा है तन मन में शून्यतायान पृथग रूपम।
मध्य प्रदेश की झांकी मध्य प्रदेश में 70 साल बाद लौटे हैं चीते। कूनो नदी के किनारे राष्ट्रीय अभयारण्य में इन चीतों का नया घर है। 24 चीते अब यहाँ पर हैं।
Need have any apprehension. Our difficulty is how to make the heterogeneous mass that we have today take a decision and march in a cooperative way on that road which is bound to lead us to unity.
Mama Bharatam Bharatam
कृषि को
formations. Mercury Peak, the daring Mercury Peak formation performed by Havaldar Pramod Patil, Havaldar Sangram, Keshari Jena and 12 daredevils. We can see them pushing the boundaries of endurance. CHM Durgesh Kumar, CQMH Sujit Mondal and 20 other daredevils. Stunning display vividly recreates India's national flower, the lotus.
True embodiment of power, endurance and reliability in the air. Formation flying at a speed of 555 kilometers. Led by Group Captain Sameep Nithawan, mentioned in dispatches. And there you can see 5 Jaguars in aero formation, formation led by Group Captain Akash Chechi. The other members of the formation, Wing Commander Ujjwal K. Mishra, Wing Commander Bharat Singh, Squadron Leader A.K. Jha and Squadron Leader Aditya Jamdagni.
विजन 2047
से near Bikaner and flying at a speed of 750 kilometers per hour. Today led by Group Captain Akash Chechi. Six Rafale fighter aircraft flying majestically out of the air. Formation led by Squadron Leader Amol Garg, Squadron Leader Mihir Vivek Chaudhary, Squadron Leader Sarthak Kumar, Squadron Leader Mohit Tyagi, Squadron Leader Arun Atre, and Squadron Leader Sivangi Singh, all from 17th Squadron. And there you can see the Trishul formation comprising 3 Sukhoi 30 MKI air dominance fighter aircraft flying at a speed of 900 kilometers per hour.
Thank you. May I now request our High Commissioner, Mr. Vikram Doraiswamy, our Chief Guest Speaker, Sir Lindsay Hoyle, and Right Honourable West Treating, the Secretary of State for Health and Social Care, to please join me on the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, can I have your attention, please? We will now play the national anthem of the United Kingdom and the national anthem of the Republic of India.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
May I now request His Excellency Mr. Vikram Doraiswamy to address us on this proud occasion.
Mr. Speaker, sir, the Right Honourable West Treating Secretary of State, Members of Parliament, Lords, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Indians and friends of India, and of course, Your Excellencies, my colleagues in the diplomatic community. Thank you for joining the High Commission team today to celebrate this day in 1950, 75 years ago, when India's constitution entered into force. With it, India became not just a republic, but also the first country to transition directly to a democracy for all of its 350 million people at that time. We did not wait for prosperity or literacy or a better someday, a better any day, to give every one of ourselves full citizenship. We became, in short, on that day, a nation for all at once, unmindful of our staggering diversity of languages, ethnicities, religions, or situations. Today, with 3/4 of a century of hindsight, it is clear how important that decision has been. For India has not only remained an outlier as the first country to become and remain a democracy for all, even in conditions of immiseration, democracy has been the great unifier for our many diversities. Contrary to what you might think, the magic ingredient that holds India together is not tandoori food, nor is it Bollywood. Since 1947, it is actually democracy, the rule of law, and a system of legislative, judicial, and executive power in dynamic equilibrium that has collectively ensured that the diversity of India's people, even on occasion differences, has never become divisions. And it is this day that we remember the abiding values of our Constitution and the commitment it enshrines from our founding fathers of the Republic to the succeeding generations. Because it is not even the words and sentences of this living document that matter. It is the spirit of constitutionalism, and that means everything. Mr. Speaker, sir, Excellencies, my lords, ladies and gentlemen, nations express themselves in ways that reflect the underlying culture of a people and their polity. We are fortunate in our partnership with the UK that at least the idiom of our expression is similar. After all, the UK is the third largest speaker of English after the US and India. But in that list, India and the UK are more likely to correctly spell words like color and flavor. And there are other obvious commonalities. We admire your uniquely British national cuisine of chicken tikka masala. And your fondness for that famously South Asian sport of cricket. Indeed, we even have a list of wonderful objects of art and artifacts that we similarly venerate, but let's not talk of that. More seriously, we have similar parliamentary processes as well as election systems. Indeed, our last elections were held more or less back-to-back last year, albeit with slightly different results. Indeed, both of us were unique in being able to complete counting of votes within hours, although you will pardon the immodesty of my emphasizing that we had to count just a few more votes, some 650 million more of them. We did so not just quickly because Indians excel at math, but also because of the tech behind it. Elections apart, governance and the great institutions of establishment, including judiciary and even media, are also similar. Indeed, it seems fair to say, even the tone of coverage tends to be similar, and often at a level that makes your country and my country unrecognizable to both of us. But this is all to the good, as they say, since it enables us to keep the feet of everyone who matter, business, government, even academia, closer to the fire. And so it is natural that as nations with so much in common, our partnership is not only a natural choice, it is an obvious choice. After all, India's growth and development offer not only an economic opportunity for the UK to sustain its national wealth, but also to offer openings for real growth. In return, the UK's financial sector can find sustainable returns for the long term, for investing for the long haul, in the rollout of India's infrastructure of roads, ports, airports, railways, housing, and industrial corridors, which are being built at pace and at scale. We can partner each other in technology, in R&D, and in bringing innovation to market, including to produce for the world, leveraging India's production base. A case in point, 80% of AstraZeneca's 3 billion delivered Covishield vaccines were made in India. As new cultural venues and products are designed and produced for regional and global markets in India, the UK's sophisticated cultural sector could establish strategic partnerships for a new wave of growth. And as Indian students seek the best available opportunities to take advantage of India's growth, the wise course that is being followed by a number of UK universities, shout out for the University of Southampton, is to consider new partnerships in India for new campuses in country, joint degree programs, and so on. I've almost finished. And of course, given the complex geo-economic and geopolitical hinge moment in which we live, it seems reasonable to suggest that there is room for India and the UK to work much more closely together in innovation in both futuristic technologies around communications, AI, quantum, and securing cyberspace, as well as in other traditional areas of national defense. Indeed, our technology security initiative is targeted at just that idea. Excellencies, as the video showed you, in the last year, working together, we have done just that. Not only did we sustain the pace of leadership-level contact, we resumed our partnership after change in government here in a manner that exemplifies bipartisan consensus in both countries for our relationship. Indeed, we are doubling down on our relationship with the upcoming opening of new consulates, our first in decades, here at Manchester and at Belfast, along with the new honorary consulate opened late last year in Newcastle. Business ties are forged ahead as India remains a top-tier investor in the UK. And as we look to restart our FTA negotiations to wrap up the last critical issues, we believe that if concluded, the FTA would help us in the further consolidation of our partnership in a direction that is, to use the much abused term, truly strategic. And thus, the vital opportunity for us to work together in a world that is, for a variety of reasons, more complex and more unpredictable. For there is no better hedge against uncertainty than for countries with obvious commonalities and natural advantages to intensify the pace of our partnership. To that future, may I ask you now to join me in a toast. To the health of His Majesty the King, to the prosperity of the people of the UK, and to an even better friendship and future for the UK and India. Thank you. Thank you.
What a wonderful toast. Thank you, Your Excellency. It's now my pleasure to invite our wonderful guest of honor, Sir Lindsay Hoyle, to make his remarks on India's 76th Republic Day.
Thank you, Your Excellency. My friend Vikram, for your kind words. Honourable members, members of the UK Parliament, Secretary of State, Shadow Secretary of States, my lords, Lord Paul, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, it gives me the greatest of pleasure to be invited to this special reception this evening to join the 76th Republic Day of India's celebrations. Such a huge milestone in India's history that reminds us that the world's largest democracy continues to thrive. This is an added honour for me, having been welcomed the Honourable Speaker of the Lok Sabha to the House of Commons earlier this month on an official visit. The visit was an absolute eye-opener, especially when we heard about India is leading the way in the use of artificial intelligence. To learn that AI simultaneously translates 22 languages in your parliament is just incredible. As I told your Honourable Speaker, we would love to work together to find out how AI can improve our parliamentary procedures. After all, we still use vellum, which is goat skin, with a long way to go to catch you up. This revelation only emphasises the trailblazing progress that your parliament or your country are making. So it makes perfect sense that our two great parliaments should continue to cooperate and to learn from each other to strengthen our democracies. Speakers of the House of Commons have always had a close relationship with their counterparts in India. Indeed, my predecessors, Speakers Bernard Weatherall, Betty Boothroyd, John Bercow, and I was fortunate enough to experience the hospitality and the friendship that was extended to the UK by India when I attended the G20 Parliamentary Speakers Summit in New Delhi in 2023. And I look forward to attending the Commonwealth Speakers Conference in India next year. After all, we have so much in common and so much history between us, some good, some more complex, and some I'm not going to mention. As we commemorate 80 years since the Second World War, the end of the Second World War, it's important to stress that the UK will be forever grateful for for the part that the British Indian Army played during the conflict, as it provided the largest volunteer army in history, rising from 200,000 men in 1939 to more than 2.5 million in August 1945. The Indian Army played a major part in operations in Italy, the Mediterranean, the Middle East, East Africa and the Far East. The 14th Army in Burma was the largest single army in the world. Its battlefront was 700 miles, approximately as long as the Russian front against Germany. Of the total force, 1 million men employed in Burma, 700,000 of these were Indians. By the end of the war, the personnel serving in the Indian Army, which had been awarded 31 Victorian Gallantry Crosses and more than 4,000 awards for gallantry, a staggering contribution in the defence of democracy. In more recent times, in fact in the last year, both the UK and India went to the polls. Although your election was a little bit bigger than ours, it was in fact, you had the world's biggest election in history. We've always had that strong and growing trade and investment in our relationship that delivers 700,000 jobs and improved prosperity in both our countries. I'm always proud to be the owner of a Land Rover, a Range Rover. What a great car. Thanks for investing and buying it and making sure it continues. India is also the UK's largest trading partner, with a trading relationship with £42 billion. And our two governments have committed to continuing to forge even stronger trade and investment ties. And I always say, those ties go back to my home. As you can tell with my accent, it's not from London, it's from Lancashire. And I'm proud of Lancashire. My constituency of Chorley used to be called the Chorley and Leyland constituency. And that's why I was so pleased to see I shot Leyland vehicles, just reminding of us that great history. And of course, Mahatma Gandhi, Gandhiji, who came to Lancashire, who came to see the women that worked in the mills in Lancashire, to talk about textiles and how India was going to produce its own textiles. And did they have anger in their hearts? No, they had love for somebody being so honest with them, who wanted to talk about the future of working class people, not just in Lancashire, but in India. That was a bond that will never be broken in Lancashire. I will never forget, when I look at history about his visit to Lancashire, I'm so proud of those links, because I've still got textiles in Lancashire, so it matters to me in the same way. But beyond the statistics, the people-to-people links between our two countries are significant, embodied by the unique living bridge, which includes 1.8 million strong Indian diaspora in the UK and connects our countries and people across culture, education, food, sport and much more. And I've got to say education matters. And we've got to work on those links to make it easier, to make sure that people can study in each other's country. And it is about the pharmaceutical industry that is second to none. Thank you for how you help the world. People mustn't forget just what India does provide. We've got to speak more about it. But of course, I'm very pleased to learn that my honourable friend, the Speaker of the Lok Sabha, shares my love of cricket. And I've got to tell you, this year the Indian cricket team will tour England for a test match series. I'm just hopeful. Always ever hopeful. I look forward to seeing how the team's going to get on. And I've got to tell you, it's not often I can smile about cricket, but it was lovely to see the T20 result tonight. We won by 26 runs. Let us have that victory. It's 2-1 out of a 5 series, so let's see. As I suggested to the Honourable Speaker, perhaps in the future we might have a friendly cricket match, if there is such a thing, between the Lok Sabha and the House of Commons. So can I say, thank you for what you do. Thank you for your friendship. My love of India will always be there because of that special relationship between Lancashire and India. So thank you for listening to me. Thank you for the kind invitation. I'd like now to hand over and say thank you once again. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Sir Lindsay, for that rousing address. Thank you very much. I'd now like to welcome and invite Right Honourable Wes Streeting, the Secretary of State for Health and Social Care, to make his remarks on this special day.
Your Excellency, honoured guests, it's a real privilege for me just to say a few words of thanks as we mark this auspicious occasion, and in doing so celebrate the deep ties that bind our two great countries together. I think, first of all, by way of thanks, let me just say to you, Vikram, your friendship, your leadership is hugely appreciated by all of us in government and across the Houses of Parliament. I think you've given everyone here with that brilliant speech and insight into the quality of support, advice and guidance that you and your mission here provide, and we are truly grateful to you and the whole team at the High Commission for the way in which you ensure the ties of friendship between our two countries are as strong as ever. So thank you, Vikram, and thank you for hosting us all here in this wonderful place. I just wanted to say two things really about the relationship between our countries. One, as the Member of Parliament for Ilford North, and the other as the Secretary of State for Health and Social Care. My constituency on the London-Essex border is one of the symbols of the living bridge between our two countries. Many of my constituents, many of the people that have shaped the London Borough of Redbridge politically, economically, culturally, are proud of both their British heritage and their Indian heritage. And we are so lucky to have so many British Indians in our country playing the role that you do in politics. And in the spirit of the occasion, I actually pay tribute to our former Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, and the leadership he showed in deepening the friendship between our two countries. Economically, culturally, in sport, in education. I mean, that was a truly remarkable presentation that highlighted the breadth and depth of the relationship between our two countries. And so I want to say, as a Member of Parliament representing a constituency with a significant Indian diaspora, how important those familial ties are and how important the bond between our two countries is. But I also want to acknowledge also the contribution that Indians make coming to our country for business, for trade, for science and cultural exchanges, and in particular as the Secretary of State for Health and Social Care, the enormous contribution that our two countries make together, often working as a team to push the frontiers of human understanding of our world, of science, of medicine, which is why last week I was extremely proud to sign in a ceremony held in both London and Delhi with my counterpart in the Indian government, the Memorandum of Understanding that will deepen the cooperation on health and science, an equitable partnership between the UK and India. So even more important, particularly when there is absolutely no doubt whatsoever that India as a global power is going to do so much to shape our world and shape the prospects for humanity in this century. And that makes this relationship even more important if we're to make sure that, as the world's largest democracy and the UK working together to make sure that democracy, not tyranny, thrive in the 21st century, if we're to make sure that this is an optimistic and hopeful century in terms of the living experience and the conditions of our people, the war we wage against poverty and inequality and injustice, the work we do together to tackle big global challenges like climate change, this bilateral relationship, this friendship, this partnership has never been more important. So thank you so much for being here this evening, and thank you so much for the work that the High Commission does to make sure that as we face into the challenges of the 21st century, the United Kingdom and India do so as the closest of friends with a shared outlook, a shared mission and a shared vision that we will realise together. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are honoured to have these two robust democracies, and we thought it would be lovely to invite some of our esteemed parliamentarians to the stage for a photo opportunity to celebrate the strength of these twin democracies and robust countries. And it's my privilege to invite on stage Darren Jones, the Chief Secretary of the Treasury, Ms. Seema Malhotra, the Parliamentary Under-Secretary for Migration and Citizenship and Equalities, and Justin Madders, Parliamentary Under-Secretary of State. And then we'll bring on our other esteemed luminaries this evening. Do we have Darren Jones, Seema Malhotra, Justin Madders, please? Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. May I invite the Shadow Foreign Secretary, Right Honourable Preeti Patel, the Shadow Secretary of State, Alan Mack, Right Honourable James Cleverly, Right Honourable Andrew Mitchell, and may I invite all our Right Honourable Bob Blackman and all our wonderful parliamentarians and our peers. We have Lord Ranger, I think he's there to my left. Lord Paul is right here. And please excuse me if I've missed any names, but in the true spirit of democracy, please make yourself known and please join us on this stage as we celebrate India's Republic Day together.
Maybe, yeah.
Thank you very much. I think that's a historic moment, a historic photograph.
I know it's not the normal form to ask you for doing this, but may I ask all of you to please join me in giving a special thank you to the Deputy High Commissioner and the rest of the team at the High Commission who do all the hard work for these events. It isn't me. I only get to stand up here.
Thank you very much to our guest of honor, our distinguished guests, lords, ladies. As I said, this was a truly historic photograph.